What up, guys? Getting back to work on the Mx32, the 2J swap. So right now I'm going to do the radiator. You can run the stock radiator, but why run stock when you can run something better? I usually put like aluminum radiators in these things just because it's like it needs to be freshened up. So what we did is we got the MISHIMOTO for this thing. There is some fabrication to make this one work. This is the 1991 Toyota Cressida. A lot of guys don't know that, but I've been running them in my X3s and X7s, and they work great. I did full drift day with the 5EZ Cressida, the Mx32, and after about 5 minutes of drifting, you can check the temperature, and it's right at 150 with the dual electric fans. So these usually come pre-assembled somewhat. This one's not quite. It's pretty nice. Japanese. That quality. Let's see here. Yeah, so what's different about these is this car, see, the radiator used to mount to these like an older Toyota truck. You have these 4 bolts. Well, we don't use that no more. So this is going to use, it has a has the little nipple things, and then I'm going to use the GS upper hose. So you have to cut it down, but it fits in there pretty tight. Actually, it's a pretty nice fit once you cut it. But you use these things from the MX73 or 83, and they fit right on there. And then they usually offset them too, so they're actually, so that fits there. And then any type of upper radiator mount like this style, pick and pull. And then let's see, we'll set it in there. I'll show you guys what it's gonna look like here. You have to cut the battery tray down a little bit, but like, who cares? See, it sits a little low, which is always a good thing, and it gives you room for adjustment. But what I usually do on these is this bolt you can actually use. I think it's that bolt. Yeah, you just move this over a little bit. Center it. I usually center it with that bolt, so it's gonna sit. This will sit on there, and then so you can actually, so you'll bolt that in. Make sure it's bent to where it's straight, like level. Bolt that in. That's your like your adjustment zone, so you'll know right where you need to put the lower bracket. And then this side, you just have to drill a hole, and I usually just put a nut on the other side. It's you can reach it from right here. You just reach under, or if you want to do a nutsert, you want to get badass, and just drill it, put a nutsert in there, bolts right on. But that's the one used for reference. And then for the lower piece, I usually take a piece of like angle iron like this. I'm going to cut this in a lot smaller, but when I get to it here, I'll just kind of tell you guys what's going on. So you pretty much drill a hole out for this to fit in there, and make it to where it'll fit that way the most. You can go that way the most. Like this little rubber piece might hang off just a tiny little bit, but because of the thickness right there, it's probably going to go right about there. So you want it more that way. And then when you cut this down, you can cut this off right about here, and then you'll have a square. Cut that out. I use like a plasma cutter usually, or you can use a hole saw, but it takes longer usually. But just plasma cut it real quick, kind of a rough cut. Boom, put that on there, and then when you go to put it in the car, let's see, it actually just, it fits pretty nice, but you just, you know, put it where you need it, and then weld it to the top. And these are kind of like, these are overkill brackets. I mean, the stock stuff's really thin, but you don't even have to use the angle iron. But the last one I did it pretty much like this. I just ground, actually had to grind off about, I have to cut off about 1/4 inch of this, and then it sits down in there like that, and then you just, you know, grind off all the paint where you're gonna weld. I usually put a couple welds on top because the rubber's gonna be right there, so a couple tacks, and then weld the sides. Just weld the sides, paint it with some black paint or whatever color you want. Just don't mess with this stuff because this is part of your tension rods, but it fits right in between those nuts perfectly. But yeah, you put that in there, weld it. Lower hose is the, where is that lower hose? I've got the hose. It's the GS or IS. I had the hose somewhere. But yeah, you can use the GS or IS hose. It just, you know, right on there. It's cut to fit on these hoses. You just, if you trim a little bit, it goes down below the radiator. Or the radiator, but the alternator hose right here, it goes right below the alternator patches. It's got the hose right there. And then on this one, I didn't get it for this one, but this drain, it's a bigger hole. So I found that the 2009 Honda Civic fan switch, it actually screws right into that thing. I did it on this car, on the wagon, and the 2009 Honda fan switch fits in there, and then you can hook that up to a relay, and it comes on at 190, and then I think it's off at 180, and then it waits till 190 to come on again, or 195 I think it is. But yeah, it's really nice little feature because it's an add-on. It's factory, you know, so it lasts. So that's pretty much how to do it. I'm gonna get it all put in, and then I'll post some pictures on Instagram. Instagram the Alpha Dogs. Check it out if you already haven't. And I'll keep you guys posted on the wiring. That'll be next. I like to get it mechanically close, and then when I wire it, I can just hit the key, fire it right up, and everything's ready to go and go drive it. So I'll give you guys a little insight on that wiring too, because I know there's a lot of people that want to do this swap, and this one, the non-VVTi is pretty good little swap. It's pretty simple. It's pretty much like wiring a Tacoma motor or something like that. Nothing major. So keep you guys posted. Till next time, take it easy.